What's up? Welcome in on a hump day, April 15th, 2026, as the NBA plays in on, and the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs are just around the corner. Plenty of stuff going on in the Diamonds. You know, I'm feeling kind of froggy tonight, guys. And as typical Wednesdays go on this very program, who knows where that leads us down what road? And we'll get to a lot of that here in just a second. Let's get the particulars out of the way. Follow us on all of our social channels at Mike Arana Show everywhere but Snapchat, because we're not 12. And Snapchat sucks. Sign up for our newsletter, MikeAranaShow.com/links. Be the first to know anything that happens with this show, whether it's swag on the way, early bets for the week, maybe some futures that we're trying to lock in, all kinds of fun stuff. We try and put some funny stories in there. We're not smart enough to spam you. It comes out once a week. You get a little bit of an early start to the week. Somebody should tell the Philadelphia Phillies that the regular season has started, because they've got cranial rectal inversion right now. Not that I needed anything out of them this evening. And the city of Philadelphia can kiss my ass right now. That's kind of where I'm at. So before I take us any farther down the road, let's go to the far side there. Vegas Mac, how are you, my friend, on this fine hump day?
Giggity. I could not be better. See that already I got you guys going. Yes, there's
the tongue straight to the cheek on that one.
Oh gosh! Again, you know, when the book comes out, you'll laugh. Let's just put it that way. When the book comes out, you'll laugh.
I shouldn't fan the flames on this, but I'm going to fan the flames on that. I had to. I feel like it is my duty as the captain of this ship.
When
we've gone strawberries, we've had Mama Mac in the store during the show getting strawberry orders, so I feel like it is my duty that when she wants to call you an ass, I need to relay that to everybody else. The man in the middle. Nowhere taller than any center. Well, I mean, you could play center for the Golden State Warriors at your height. TJ, what's going on, my brother?
NBA action. It's craptastic.
Hey. You know what? I had to stop Mac last night. I don't know if you caught the end of the show last night, but we actually, I guess you could say we live watched it. It really sucks in this day and age of streaming, because I was definitely ahead. Stop sending them to me, damn it. I'm trying to run a show here. It's either you or you got Roz is one of the main reasons that I'm laughing before they go up on the screen. But we watched the end of the Hornets game last night, which was kind of crazy. Obviously, there's controversy that came with that we'll talk about. The Suns-Blazers game was fantastic. Phoenix choked that one off hardcore last night. And we're watching it, and I kind of like, every time I've jumped in on the Saturday night with our boys over at the Herb and Rod show, guys, like, Herb is always ahead of Raj's feed, which is hilarious. And last night, I was like, what'd you say, Mackenzie? Like, good 7 seconds or so ahead of you, it felt like?
I think more than that. I think it was closer to a dozen, you know.
It was crazy.
In between all of the, you know, the times we were blacked out or couldn't hear it, you know.
Yeah, we literally got to react to that live last night, dude.
Like, it was so funny. It's like, yeah.
Okay, here comes the pot stirrer for the night. It would be choked, not chalked, and they haven't played yet, so it's impossible for them to chalk harder. Good to see you, Cody. Plenty of stuff to talk about tonight. We've got the NHL playoff field is full. We just don't know exactly directions there. We'll get into a little bit of that, update you on any pertinent scores tonight. The Giants are losing again tonight, so today ends in Y, and they still have no offense. The Pirates, yet again, up 2-0. Angels and Yanks from the Bronx, 4-3 there. 2-0 Atlanta over Miami. Tampa Bay. Now, I don't know if Tampa Bay has bunted 9 times yet in 3 innings. It wouldn't surprise me if they have, because they're bunting teams to death right now. They're up 1-0 on the White Sox. Toronto up 1-0 on the Brewers. Houston up 2-1 on Colorado. So we got plenty of stuff to talk about. And I kind of felt like, guys, it's the only day of the week that all 3 of us are together. So I kind of felt like it's WrestleMania week. There's a lot of shit going on in the sports world. WrestleMania. If you had ever thought of this, if I would have told you this, T, 20 years ago, that the first hour of WrestleMania on Saturday and Sunday was going to be on ESPN, let's say it how everybody else is saying it, on ESPN proper this weekend, would you have told me that I was high as a kite or what?
I would have been like, is it the Ocho and not the proper? Because that sounds like something that goes on the Ocho. But I mean, the event has gotten so big that, like, and has it found a permanent home in Vegas now?
Doesn't sound like they've officially said that, but it wouldn't surprise me if they're leaning down that road. And let's be honest, why wouldn't you? I mean, why wouldn't you? The weather at this time of year, Vegas Mac knows this better than anybody. There's a reason we call them Vegas Mac. I mean, weather at this time of year, beautiful venue for it. Obviously, you can do all of your events all over the city. Yeah, Vegas Mac, if you were still in Vegas, would you be headed to the Death Star for one of the 2 nights of WrestleMania, even though TKO's completely priced normal people out?
Yeah, I was gonna say, depends upon if I want to put the mortgage on my house up, probably to get there, which is kind of a bummer that something like that is it's just not them. Let's just point fingers at a lot of places. I mean, unless somebody gives me tickets, I'm never going to a Super Bowl either.
It's true. I don't. I brought this up because somebody said it to me, and Mac and I were recapping the Masters, which, by the way, you won the 3-way battle there, Mr. Golf Picks. I can't wait to see. You got some golf love on the show last night from one of our listeners. If somebody asked me this weekend, if I handed you tickets to Sunday at the Masters, would you go? And I said I hesitated, and I felt that was kind of weird. We've talked about this plenty of times on the show. I'm not really a big event guy anymore. But I kind of feel like and what I told Mac last night is Jim Nantz is so damn good, and I don't think we appreciate how good Jim Nantz is. Especially A, because he has to deal with Tony Romo. B, he's just that damn good. And the way he painted that picture at the end of the Masters, I don't know if I'd want to miss that. So let me give you this. I can hand you tickets to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals at the Saddle Dome for the Calgary Flames, which this is a total fantasy experiment here because I just said that all together. Would you take the tickets and go to Game 7 in Calgary? I had to put it into your wheelhouse here.
Yes, with the caveat that the before and after party is at Cowboys, and that if the Flames win, that I have an unlimited bar tab that Noodles McLennan picks up at the end of the night.
I didn't think we were going to get a Noodles McLennan reference in this show. Let's start with some rapid fire tonight, guys. I'm feeling froggy here, and it is WrestleMania week, as I said, so I'll just get us started right away with this. WrestleMania week. 2 people in sports. Any 2 people in sports you could pay money to see fight each other in a steel cage. I'm going to go to Mac on this one because I'm pretty sure he's going to go baseball related.
Absolutely. I would. I don't know if he would be able to fit in the cage because of his ears, but Manny Machado uh, would be in one corner, and I wanted to make it. I was going to try to think of somebody that could really pummel him. Because of my dislike for Manny Machado, and
Let's say.
but I want to keep it baseball. So I was trying to think who's like the meanest baseball dude that I could possibly think of. And so I got Manny Machado going up against, in his prime, Albert Bell. I think that would, yeah, right?
That's a really good one because Albert Bell is a punk ass.
He was. I mean, he was crazy. Once he got off the edge, that's not a place you wanted to be.
I remember watching him when he played in the minor leagues when he was Joey Bell, and he was a punk ass then.
Also true. I would actually pay money to see that. That's a good one, Mackenzie. What do you got, TJ? Any two sports figures, past or present, you could pay money, and it can be more than two if you want to go fatal 4-way inside a cage. Yeah, I mean, it's wrestling. You can make up the rules as you go.
I would like to see the battle for the orange, and I've got Youpie and Gritty, and I want them to go after each other.
Youpie and Gritty would be a good one. Gritty's already got some good stuff floating around Twitter because of the in-state Keystone State battle of the Flyers and Penguins going. He was stalking the Penguins bird today on X. That was pretty good. I would like to see this. All four commissioners of the four major sports. So Gary Bettman, Roger Goodell, Adam Silver, and my boy Bobby Manfred locked inside a steel cage. Winner gets exclusive streaming. The three losers have to make sure that we can always watch games all the way through. Because I'd love to see that. I think Bettman, like, he's got a little Rey Mysterio kind of height, size to him, high flyer kind of thing. I think Bettman would be a dark horse in that matchup, but I would pay good money to see that.
Do you remember in the 2020 when they did the 2020 draft virtually, and Goodell is just shit-faced the entire time, like, why am I doing this? This is the dumbest thing ever. And now if we could get that Bettman, I'm totally in. Or that Goodell, I'm totally in.
Oh yeah, you gotta add the elements to it. If we're going WrestleMania inside a steel cage, we gotta add the elements to it. All right, Mackenzie, it's your first time to jump into rapid fire with us, so I'm gonna let you ask the next question. Don't get all choked up. It's a fun thing.
It is. All right, listen, we all enjoyed the Masters last week. In one way or another. And one of the neat things about the Masters is the tradition of the Masters. But I'm going to take it this way. What if the other three majors had to have one site? What would be the one course that defines each of those other majors? So like the Masters, we're going to just say every year the U.S. Open is going to be at this course. What course would you pick that would define the U.S. Open, the Open Championship, and the PGA?
That's a really good question. I would say Shinnecock Hills for the U.S. Open. One of my favorite courses out there. Obviously, we get a chance to see that. The Open Championship, I would say Portrush, because it always seems like it's a good vibe. And then the PGA Championship, I'd probably go... Yeah, that's a tough one. The PGA Championship, I'd probably say you got to go somewhere like Harbor Town, but it's not Harbor Town because that stands alone at the Heritage. I love that tournament. I'm trying to remember the name of the other place that they play in Myrtle Beach, that area, and it's going to slip my mind. They played a couple majors there. But, like, I thought it was cool when they did the whole Chambers Bay thing a few years back, or it's actually been longer than that. Fox was covering golf back then. I'd like to see them spread out across the country a little bit better. I think that would make it you got Augusta. I know I just gave you 3 places on the east side of the country. I still think the Olympic Club is one of the better venues on the West Coast for all of golf. I'd love to see something get involved with that. Royal Portrush for me is the Open. Everybody's gonna be like, "What about Troon? What about Troon? Toity, snoozy, snitsy." I mean, TJ lives on a course basically that you could play major championships on. He sees guys try and do it all the time.
Oh my god, it's such a disaster.
I when I was thinking about it for the PGA, I picked TPC Sawgrass. And I know that's, where the players is, but I'm like, if we're going to make it a major, in essence, I think that would be a good place for it.
Yeah, Kiowa Island was the name of the place that I was thinking of in South Carolina. That course is amazing. That's on my, I want to play that course at some point. T, you take the hammer here. What's next on the list?
Oh, you don't want me to answer? Because I got some answers.
Oh, no, actually,
yeah,
my bad.
go. Yeah.
I absolutely want you to answer, the golfer of the group here.
So for the Open Championship, it's got to be at St. Andrews, and you can just move it around all the different courses. For the U.S. Open, I'd put it at the Olympic Club. And for the PGA, Bethpage Black.
Ooh, I like that call, too. So you'd have Augusta... So you'd have Georgia, New York, San Francisco. I like it.
There we go.
I like it. See, who said you're not a golfer?
Okay, I've got one because Mac is in such a freaking great mood today. Vegas Mac, describe your Boston Red Sox pitching staff in 3 words or less.
Oh, it's going right to the trigger.
Kind of much like this room right now, in the shitter.
I just want to tell
What's
you
funny
that,
is I was going to say, if you asked me to describe the Giants' offense in 3 words or less, I would have said actually dog shit.
Right.
I had Garrett Crochet on my fantasy league the other night, and I hope
Oh,
he's
my
nice.
God.
I hope
Did
he's
you-
well rested so he can pitch tomorrow and make up for the freaking bull crap he gave me on Monday.
Well, did you? I know if you heard it yesterday. There was a stat that see if I can find it real quick. Go ahead, Mike. Answer this question. I'll see if I can find that.
The Red Sox pitching staff, dazed and confused, is how I would describe the Red Sox pitching staff for you movie buffs out there. It's been weird, but I mean, everything that the Red Sox have done this year to start the season has been really weird and doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me because it's a team. Mm-hmm. Hey, Mike Trout remembered tonight.
Hey, listen to. So here we go, T. Listen to this. I'm going to give you a pitching line. Ready? 11 innings pitched, 28 hits, 7 walks, 22 earned runs, an ERA of 18.0. Do you know who that is?
That's Garrett Crochet and his losses?
No, it's close. It's Garrett Crochet, Framber Valdez, and Tariq Skubal, all in their last starts at Target Field.
Ooh.
Telling you, there needs to be an investigation. The Red Sox did get the win at Target
Bullseye.
Field today. 9-5 behind Connolly Early's 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned, 5 Ks, and 2 walks. Trevor Story with a homer for the Red Sox. And your boy, Yoshida, he actually contributed today in some form or fashion. So 7-11 are the Red Sox now.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel bad for you, Mac. That's a bloody gong show.
Yeah, you know what?
Gong show.
It's kind of funny. They played all right this weekend. I thought they kind of maybe turned a corner. It's going to be interesting to see. Something's not right there. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I'm not panicked yet. It's still too early. I still think they're going to be all right, but it's just a weird start.
We talked about it a little bit, Mac, last night, and T, when we talked about the series we were looking forward to this weekend, and Mac's got some kind of up-and-coming teams that are playing good, good baseball right now, and I'm looking more like the Red Sox now head back home to take on Detroit in a 4-game series, where the game on Monday and I know there's a reason for this, and Mac, you'll probably tell
Oh
me.
yes, of course.
But the game on Monday starts at 8:10 a.m. for us left coasters out here.
Patriots
That's a
Day.
4-game
It's
series that goes
right.
into Monday.
Marathon Monday. It's Patriots Day. That's why.
what I
So
figured.
they start early. It's in fact there's no school on that day. Kids don't have school on that day. It's a day off.
It's also 420, so I'm sure it'll be a rockin' good time in Boston. T, you have the hammer now.
All right, I'll give you one more. So the NBA got off to a start last night, and we had a 7-8 game and a 9-10 game, and I guess the two winner the I don't even know because it's such a joke. But let me
Phoenix
put a note.
hosts the next game on Friday night against the winner of tonight's Golden State Clippers game.
But in my mind, there's all losers here because I'm going to put the over/under here at 3.5. The number of games that the 7 and 8 seeds in the NBA playoffs win, 3.5.
Ooh. That's 4 teams.
Now, are you saying total or one team will win?
Nope, total.
Total.
Yeah.
Oh.
So he's calling for at least one sweep there, obviously. And you already know what I think the sweep in the East is going to be is whoever gets Boston in the first round. Because if it's either one of these teams, it ain't going to work out well for them.
I'm gonna say over because I think if Charlotte and Portland get through, I think they could each probably steal a win here and there. So there's a couple of wins right there. You figure you'll get a couple more just out of dumb luck. So I'll take the bait and say over.
I'm gonna say over too, and I'm glad you brought up Portland, because there were some people that, again, today when we posted the video about what you said last night, Mac, about Phoenix being the only team you could see having a remote chance to win whatever their series may be, and now we know that series would be against Oklahoma City if they get there, but I'm kind of, and I talked about this, guys, last week, so I'm going to say over, but here's why. The main reason for me is that Portland-San Antonio series just got very interesting to me. Denny Avdia the Suns had no answer for him last night. He's been great all year. Donovan Clingan has played very well for them. Tumani Kamara has. Portland doesn't have any guys that you're going to go, oh, yeah, I know him, other than like Drew Holiday and Jeremy Grant. But it's a really interesting team. And somebody pointed this out on X today that I thought was fascinating to remember. You saw him last night if you were watching the game on the sidelines, but Damian Lillard's going to get to play with this group next year, and that's kind of interesting. Our boy Rob Perez, Worldwide Wob, on X, he said, wouldn't it be cool if they lowered, speaking of wrestling, lowered Dame down like Sting from the ceiling for game 1? And I'm like, dude, that would be friggin' incredible. But while I remember this from a couple years ago, I know, T, you do, because you and me were laughing our asses off. Remember the Pacers-Celtics series? That the Celtics were able to breeze through and get I believe they swept, if I remember correctly.
Right.
But all of those games were tight. You could tell Indiana was there. What happened the next year to Indiana, we know what happened, obviously this year notwithstanding because of Halliburton's injury. But that San Antonio-Portland series, I can see going that exact same way. Like, San Antonio ends up sweeping them, but they are 4 very, very close, very, very tough games. So I am going to say over, even though I don't have a whole lot of faith in many of the teams, but I think Portland could steal a game against San Antonio. I think that Charlotte could probably steal a game if they get to Detroit. Whoever the hell wins this game tonight between the Sixers and the Magic has no prayer against Boston. So that's a sweep. And then I would give the Clippers a better chance against Oklahoma City than I would Golden State. So I'd say over. It's not an easy over, but I'd say over. That's a really good question, T. Gold star on the chart for you. And I'll start it here on this go-round. Jonathan Quick has announced that he's retiring. 20 years Jonathan Quick was between the pipes, man. It's crazy because it doesn't seem like it was that long. He is going to retire. So over that course of the last 20 years that Jonathan Quick's been a goalie Is he the best goaltender of our generation? We'll go T than Mac on this.
I think he's definitely one of the best. I think he's definitely the best American goaltender that we've seen. I mean, the guy has been clutch. He would, when he was in his prime, that 2012 playoff run by the Kings started with the great goaltending and then just went out from there. And that team was an absolute buzzsaw. Like it wouldn't have mattered. You know, we look back at that and like when Arizona made their run that year and we're like, man, if they could only got by the Kings, nobody's going to get by the Kings. It wasn't even, not even close. And then for them to run it back in 14, as impressive as that was by beating Chicago in that 7-game series was unreal. And then they just blew the doors off the Rangers. I thought he got done a little bit dirty at the end when he got traded to Vegas, but he seemed to bounce back in New York. Hall of Fame, first ballot, great, made hockey better.
Vegas Mac. Is he the best goaltender of our generation? You got Ross checking in. Appreciate that.
I mean, he's from Connecticut, by the way, Mr. Quick. He's from Connecticut. He's a Connecticut boy. I'm just saying. I'm gonna say no because I don't know if I'm going too far out of our realm here, but I think to me, Henrik Lundqvist would probably be like the best goalie like of this generation. I mean, I think their careers are about even. I think Lundqvist was a little bit better than him, but I mean, I'd agree with T. I mean, without a doubt, probably the best American goaltender. He's right in he's in the conversation, but for me, I think Lundqvist was better.
I could agree with that. And again, like you just mentioned, what T mentioned, like that's the caveat. Jonathan Quick was probably the best American goaltender of our generation.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people would say that the King was a little bit better. And I think that's a fair argument to make. All right, Mac, you got the hammer now.
All right. I'm trying to decide if I want to go fun or if I want to go really make you think here a little bit because I got a couple of each. But let's go with this. Since we're talking about hockey, there's a good chance that Ovi's going to retire this year. So it got me thinking. And this doesn't have to do with hockey. This is just kind of in general. Give me a person under 25 years of age who is the next face of their sport.
Well, that's easy. You can stay in the sport you were just talking about. He wears number 71 in teal. I mean, let's be honest here. You can call me a homer, but what Macklin Celebrini's done this year is things that we've only seen by no doubter best of all time players in hockey. So I would say the easy answer for me would be Macklin Celebrini. And probably because he's lived up to every bit of the hype to not be a homer and give you another one here, I'd say Cooper Flagg. I think we've forgotten a lot because of how bad Dallas was this year. Cooper Flagg was supposed to be in this coming draft, not in the NBA and doing what he was able to do this year. So I think Cooper Flagg and Macklin Celebrini, it's a great place to plant your flag. Go ahead, T.
Yeah, I think hockey's in really good spot, and you got to wonder. Like, I agree with you, Mike. I think Macklin Celebrini is he's closer to being the face of the sport than Connor Bedard is, and I think it's just because of the team that has been assembled in Chicago versus the team that's been assembled in San Jose. Connor Bedard was supposed to be the be-all, end-all, and that just hasn't developed yet just because of his supporting cast. I mean, I like Cade Cunningham with the Pistons. I think he's been outstanding this year. I don't really know, like, in baseball, I mean, you got Skeens, but how attractive is that Pittsburgh team to the entire nation? It's not really a marketable franchise. So
just
I'm
give it a couple more months, buddy. Give it a couple more months.
When he's a Met, right? So I agree with you. I think Celebrini. I think Bedard is on that. I think Cunningham. That's where I'm going to go.
Macklin Celebrini and Connor Bedard in action tonight against each other. Sharks with an early 1-0 lead in a game that means absolutely nothing. Super Mario Ferraro, in possibly his second to last game as a Shark, has a goal early. Again, tonight, really nothing right now of note that needs to be passed along here. I guess the only thing would be Senators, Maple Leafs, just because the Maple Leafs are losing. I mean, we know who's there. We know who's going to the dance. We just don't know all the official positions yet, but we'll get into more of that tomorrow. Let's go T. You take the hammer here. We'll go one more round and then move into the NBA Crystal Ball.
Okay, so we talked about the NBA 7 and 8 seeds, so I'm going to stay on that same line. Over under 3.5, the number of games that the wild card teams in the NHL playoffs will win. Over under 3.5.
So that's Boston, Ottawa, the U8th Mammoth, as we saw on X today. Good job, Fanatics. Utah's a really hard word to spell. And the LA Kings.
Now, we don't know who the Kings are going to get. If it started today, the Kings would at least avoid the Oilers, and they would get the Avalanche. Utah would get Vegas, Ottawa and Carolina, and Boston.
We still have an outside chance to see McDavid and McKinnon against each other. I want chaos, damn it.
Boston and Buffalo.
Jeez. I'm gonna say under on that. I think those 4 wild card teams are not capable of scratching surface against the 4 opponents that they'll have. Now, obviously, it could change, but if we're looking at who they are right now, not buying one bit about that Utah team, not buying anything on the Kings, Ottawa and Boston. Yeah, but I don't think the 2 of them win 4 games. So I would say under. What do you got, Mac?
I mean, I think over. I mean, I can see that Boston Buffalo being a 7-game series. I think that's a good old Adams division rivalry right there. I like that. I can see Utah. I can see Utah beating Vegas. I really can. I think that Utah can put enough pucks in the net, and we know that Vegas has a little trouble stopping the puck going into saying and keeping it out of the net. So I can see. I would not be surprised that Utah even would win that series.
We're going to talk about the Vegas Golden Knights and winning in the postseason here because I was feeling froggy last night. And since they both are on for the next 2 months, I feel like it's a good investment. I made a bet on an NBA champion and a Stanley Cup champion. And then I made another bet and added a World Series champion in there. So I'm going to take the hammer here for my last one. And then we'll go, Mac, you get the last one after this. And then we're moving on to hoops. So my last one, we all have to have hope in life, right? You know, you get up, you do the best you can. You hope things are good. And when it's time for the dirt nap, you did something that was worthwhile with your life. So, in the National League, I know that was deep for a Wednesday. In the National League, do we have a team? Give me hope. We'll go TJ, then Mac, since Mac has the last question. Give me a team that could actually legitimately knock off the Dodgers and keep the Dodgers from even attempting to three-peat. Give me a team that would be wise to back, TJ, in the National League that you think could pull it off.
It's almost easier to give you teams that don't have a chance. Because
you can't say the whole National League together either. That was not.
No, but I mean, like, do you really think the Miami Marlins are going to be there at the end? Do you really think the Buffalo Phillies are going to be there at the end? Like, there's a lot of, I mean, even the St. Louis Cardinals have 10 wins right now. I think your hope lies with either the Atlanta Braves or the Chicago Cubs. And I think that's like Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope.
Braves, I could buy. The Cubs would make me a little nervous right now because I know they're winning today in big fashion, but they have not looked good. Give me some hope, Matt.
They haven't.
Well, tongue in cheek, I'll say, I think if the Diamondbacks get in as a wild card, the Diamondbacks could knock off the Dodgers because they always knock off the Dodgers. That's not really my pick, but I'm just saying that was a little tongue in cheek. I'm telling you, I said it last night. I'm all in on this Atlanta Braves team. They're doing it without their best pitching right now. That offense is really, really good. I think the Atlanta Braves can win the National League without a doubt, and that's not even a stretch.
Diamondbacks and Dodgers would be a fun series to watch because the final
Right.
score of all those games would be how many times
8-7.
are we going to bet over 20 runs
Right, exactly.
based on the Dodgers starting health and the Diamondbacks ass of a bullpen. They did get another win today in Baltimore. You brought this up, and I'm sure this is going to come back out on our social channels, maybe even first thing tomorrow. But the Diamondbacks, while the road record, I think, is now 500, they might be one over 500. They've won some really big games, big series as of late, with another win today in 10 innings over Baltimore. So they were able to avenge their own pitching staff and get an extra inning win.
Yeah, I mean, they won 2 in Baltimore, 2 against the Mets, and 2 against Philly. I mean, that's a pretty darn good road trip.
It is. All right, final question for the evening from
Here we
you.
go. Let's bring out the silly. Baseball, we got ghost runners, right? So the runners we can't see or that are there. So we've got that. I mean, I'm not gonna. I love the ABS system. I absolutely love it. But listen, all of this stuff is about adding, offense to baseball. Bigger bases. Pitchers can't throw over there enough. So listen, my question to you guys is, let's make baseball offensive. Aluminum bats in baseball for one weekend. For one weekend series, your teams can play with an aluminum bat. What do you think?
No, I can't do it.
I'll let you start with this one.
Can't do it.
Ting!
What up,
no,
Shai?
those
Shai.
freaking rocket launchers, not a chance. I don't even like them in college. That with the velocity that those things put on a ball, if you hit it right, those things are just waiting to cause trouble. I say no.
What do you think the attendance would be for that, though? Do you think it would actually? I mean, because listen, things that baseball's do, you're trying to bring more people. Do you think that would bring more people to the stadium to watch it? That's what I'm talking about. Like if they brought the aluminum bat for one weekend.
Boys to the yard, and then sorry. I get where you're going with it. I've always said this, and I always have thought, especially because of the idiots that I got to see at the Home Run Derby when it was here in Phoenix, and some of the dumbass things that grown men were doing for batting practice balls.
Oh, good Lord.
I would love to see the Home Run Derby one year
there you
go to aluminum bats.
All right.
I think if you want to go novelty and do something exciting like that, I think the Home Run Derby and aluminum bats would be a hell of a lot of fun, because we know these guys can already hit a ball 500 feet with a wood bat and their dads or their little league coaches pitching to them. Let's see if now, let's say there's an all-star game in a stadium that can set up a cool outdoor pool environment, or like at McCovey Cove or at PNC Park. There's people out in the river. There's people out in the cove. Because they're hitting with aluminum bats. I think that would be cool. But I think like T's saying, in an actual game, I think you would murder somebody if there was an aluminum bat in a major league game.
See, I was gonna originally worded the question like this. It's kind of Savannah Banana-ish, but like you could have one guy come up one time during the game and use an aluminum bat. You know what I mean? Like, save it. Like your special pinch hitter coming up. Here comes Shohei with an aluminum bat. Something like.
I would get.
What are you and Manfred and? Are you and Manfred in cahoots now? He wants his golden at bat where you can just put somebody in any spot of the lineup, and you want a golden aluminum bat.
That's what made me think of it. I'm trying to think be one with the commish here.
Well, Turn around and bend over, see if you can get your head that far up your ass. All right, we'll continue on with that a little bit more tomorrow. You'll see that a little more often. Also, as we mentioned last night, if you've got a question and we've changed topics, send the question in. At the end of each show, we're going to go through and answer any of those that we don't get to throughout the show. The hell are you doing?
Waiting for that fly ball from that aluminum bat.
Yeah, I don't think the glove is what you need. I think you need full, like, freaking riot gear in front of you. Somebody would die. You imagine Aaron Judge with an aluminum bat?
Good Lord.
Is my wife, listen, you've heard the story, right? The batting practice story, right?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, gosh. We're in Cleveland. Wife and the two boys, and we're at batting practice, and we're out in left field. And, we got our gloves, for batting practice, and this guy hits a home run. It's coming, towards us, and we just missed it. But it's batting practice, so they're coming. We didn't see the next one that came, and that went flying over our head. And my wife took it on the chest.
Oh,
And she had a little souvenir for the next couple weeks.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you saw our guy Shy. I mean, he said he's never watched the home run derby. That would make him watch the home run derby. Speaking of home runs, Bryce Harper just hit the most meaningless home run for the Phillies, but it's meaningless, or it's meaningful to some of us. Now I need the Angels to bat back around and get Zach Neto back up to the plate, and we're going to have a really fun end of the show. We might actually just give out some money at that point.
All right.
Maybe. Not really. But it doesn't look like Zach Neto's coming back up. All right. NBA style. We know the bulk of the field. We talked about who actually legitimately has a chance. We know generally what our first round matchups are. So let's get into the playoff bracket, shall we? For the tournament that you don't want to watch until the second round, because that's when they get good, when the NHL gets bad because they've already axed off half of their good teams. What's your favorite first round matchup that we know we're going to have in the NBA? I'll start in the middle. We'll go T, then Mac.
Mine is the Cavaliers and the Toronto Raptors, because I've been asking my good buddy who's a Knicks fan all year. I keep just going, hey, what do you think about the Raptors' chances this year? And he goes, they play really, really well together. They are fast. They can be explosive, and they are young. And Cleveland's got a little bit of experience there. So it's going to be interesting to see these two teams get together. I think it's the 4-5 matchup in the East.
Mm-hmm.
That is correct. It begins on Saturday at 10 a.m. on Prime. Jesus, we're doing more Prime Video.
And nobody will see it.
They are in the Houston Texans slot.
Right. Mac, what's your first round series that's got you most excited?
This is a team that I called out a couple of weeks ago, and then I kind of watched them a little bit, and I really have come to kind of side with them a little bit, and that's the Atlanta Hawks. They have the Knicks in the first round. And I know the Knicks are gonna, with one eye, looking for that second round matchup with the Boston Celtics, and they better watch themselves, so they might not have to worry about that matchup. I think Atlanta can give them all that they can handle. I would not be surprised to see the Hawks advancing into the second round.
Didn't the Hawks just trade their best player this year?
They did. That's probably why.
Addition by subtraction. Yeah.
Well, I mean, everybody in Atlanta, it's so cool to see the ball being shared and blah, 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 blah. You forget why Trae Young became a dude, because of what he did for you in the postseason. You can talk all the shit you want, Atlanta. I know Max warmed back up to you. Smoke and effing mirrors. Now, I will say that's the best possible first-round matchup for them, because we know the Knicks don't play a lick of defense, so that gives them a fighting chance there. I think if the Knicks actually play some defense and show up, I could see that series being over very quickly. Our guy Shy just checked in, not in an attic this time, but Nuggets and Wolves. I think a lot of people go to that and they say that is the best matchup, and I can see why you would say that. That being said, and Mac and I kind of talked about this a little bit last night, with that soft-ass crepe in the middle of their freaking lineup, Minnesota I can't take seriously. And I don't believe that Minnesota can just flip this random switch now that they haven't been able to flip all year. And it's really frustrating because I would love to see a Timberwolves, Spurs, OKC kind of three-way rivalry for the next 5 years, because we already know the Spurs and the Thunder, SGA, or not SGA, Wemby and Chet can't stand each other. We know Anthony Edwards isn't afraid to talk to anybody. So, like, that one on paper, I think, could be the best series. I think Hornets-Pistons would be great because there'd be a lot of extracurriculars there. But, again, I said it a little bit earlier, guys. I'm really kind of jazzed about this. Jazz in the playoffs. That's a funny joke. How's that one working out, Ryan Smith? I am kind of stoked about the Spurs and the Blazers because while I think San Antonio probably still wins it in 4 or 5 games, I think Portland battles with them, and I kind of like this Portland team. And you saw a lot of chutzpah from them last night in Phoenix and making the multiple comebacks in that game. So, again, in this game tonight, 76ers up 71-62 on the Magic. 5:25 left from Philly in what's going to be Jamal Mosley's last game for the Magic. I wonder if they'll Lane Kiffin him at the Philadelphia airport. Like, if they just tell Jamal, like, hey, you're not even coming all the way back with us. All right, let's keep on the subject at hand here in the NBA playoffs, guys, and let's go to the Western Conference. And we'll go from the far side to the strong side this time. We'll start with Mac. Give me your Western Conference Finals matchup and your Western Conference champion as Kelly Oubre and Desmond Bane fight in Philadelphia.
I think this is it's kind of interesting. I was talking about this. You've kind of made me think about Denver, so I'm a little kind of taking a half a step back on this, but I'll go with my original pick. I think San Antonio is going to get through. I think they've been a fairly consistent team all year. They're young. They're ready to kind of make that next step. I like San Antonio getting to the finals. It's hard when you look at the top half of the bracket not to see Oklahoma City kind of getting through there. I mean, what resistance are they going to get? They're not going to get it. From Portland. They're definitely not going to get it from the Lakers or the Rockets. So I think I've got an OKC San Antonio Western Conference final, and just for the sake of the step up, the way I think San Antonio gets to the finals.
Oh, did not see that one coming from you. T, what do you got in the West?
I like your OKC pick, but I've got them going against the Nuggets. I think the Nuggets have one more kick in the can with this crew left in them, but I don't see them getting through. I got OKC. And call me crazy, but I'm totally like when they were going through this process over the last 5-6 years, and Presti's just acquiring players and picks. Like they're going out of style, and everybody's like, what the hell's going on here? And I'm just like, dude, they're going to be good for like 10 years. You watch. And
then something like this year, I'm glad you brought that up, T, because like this year, everybody kind of laughed off the move at the time when they made the trade with Philly for Jared McCann, and he's been great for them, and he's another good young player for a team that has a ton of assets. Now, obviously, as we know, the bill's going to come due, and they still have 2/3 of the bill that's got to come due. But with the way they've set themselves up and the way they have guys like Case and Wallace and those other guys that just do their job, I think the West is fascinating. I just can't get off this Nuggets thing, guys. I can't. I mean, I think the entirety of the season we've forgotten about the Nuggets. We've poo-pooed the Nuggets. They were a non-factor. They couldn't play at Ball Arena for the better first half of the year. They played so many games without Aaron Gordon. Julian Strawther and all those other guys got so many meaningful minutes. You've got Tim Hardaway. You've got Bruce Brown. You've got a good balanced group. I think Adelman's done a very, very underrated absolutely great job. The top side of it is a mess for me. I think Nuggets and Spurs is going to be incredible. There's just something that tells me the Thunder's not even going to get back to the conference finals this year. But I'm having a really hard time going, oh, this is the team that's going to get past them. Well, you're going to think I'm crazy here, but this just seems like the year that this would be the year that this happens. I've got Denver and the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals. Because just when we think, especially if you look at the Lakers' projected rotation against Houston, I got Denver and the Lakers, and I think Denver goes back to the finals. I really do. Here's the thing. As we're watching Orlando and Jamal Mosley's last game here, he's got about 17 minutes and 12 seconds left to coach the Magic, a team that was overhyped to all hell at the beginning of the year because they made a good trade for Desmond Bane. Let me put this in proper perspective for everybody here. The Magic are the Eastern Conference version of the Rockets. And I don't think I'm far off there. A team that was overhyped to hell. Houston has better players. And Houston managed to end up with the exact same record without Steven Adams and without Fred VanVleet all year. Props to them. That being said, we know they're terrible in clutch time. And they don't have a true ball handler. And I think the Lakers will get Reeves and Doncic healthy there. Probably let them hang with the Thunder. But the Magic and the Rockets are the same damn team to me. So before we move all the way into the East, I'm going to put this up, since we're still on topic. In market and on topic. Last night, everybody's seen it by now. The play that took Bam Adebayo out for the Miami Heat. Not the first time that LaMelo Ball has pulled on a ankle of Bam Adebayo's. Was the play dirty or not last night? I'll let whoever jump on this.
I mean, I watched it a couple of times. I really didn't think it was all that big a deal. I think there's a whole lot more that goes on in an NBA game than that. I mean, quite honestly, I mean, I didn't really think that there was that big of a deal. To me, that sounded like a little bit of sour grapes from Spoelstra, which usually he doesn't. So, I mean, I was a little surprised.
I would say this. I would say, do I think he intentionally grabbed his ankle? I think you'd be an idiot to say that he didn't. Did he grab it to make him perfectly land on his low back hip area to where he would miss the rest of the game? I think that's putting way too much thought into something like that. It's a little bit of gamesmanship. You grab onto a guy, you slow him down going back down the court. Bam happened to fall. I would say it didn't need to be done, but I wouldn't call it a Draymond Green stomping on Domas Sabonis' chest, even though Sabonis deserves that 9 times out of 10. T, what do you think?
I mean, I wouldn't give LaMelo Ball that much credit for trying to do it intentionally. I think it was just I mean, like, what happens if Tyler Hero is standing there? He probably does the same thing. So
right.
I'd say nah. I'm not going to give Ball that much props for that.
All right, let's move over to the Eastern Conference picture. Again, we're still waiting. As of right now, it would be Sixers and Celtics. Kind of a fun little nostalgia Boston, Philly thing. We know we're waiting for the loser of this game. And Charlotte got distracted there. These damn eat more chicken signs in the freaking stands. This is a good one too, actually. Speaking of WrestleMania week. What do we think? What's our, as we look at the Eastern Conference side of things, we've already talked about our favorite matchups. Let's start with Mr. Masshole himself. Vegas Mac, what is your overview of the Eastern Conference playoffs? And give me the Eastern Conference Finals matchup and champion. The floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you. I mean,
you're welcome.
The Eastern Conference has been a 2-dog race the whole year. I mean, it's what it's been. It's been the Detroit Pistons and the Boston Celtics. And I see no reason why that's not your Eastern Conference final. I think anything... The only other team that I think could possibly get there, I mean, you could throw the Knicks in there, but I just don't see it. I think it's a Boston, Detroit, Eastern Conference Final.
I'm sticking with I called them earlier in the season. I'm sticking with it. I'm going with the Knicks and this Pistons, and I'm taking the Knicks.
You are a glutton for punishment, sir. You are a glutton for punishment. The guy shy check it in. He's got Pistons Celtics, Pistons in 6. I am going to say along the same lines. I do believe I have no faith in Cleveland because they have James Harden, which means you don't win anything. Toronto, Toronto's the team that like on their best day I think could maybe mimic a little bit of the Indiana Pacers run last year, but that's on their absolute best day. I could see them, and I think they will get past Cleveland, but the road ends after that. The Knicks and Hawks. I mean, I would love to see Mike Brown get the Knicks there. I mean, perfect scenario for me is that Golden State and the Knicks play in the finals because my dumbass actually has a bet on the Knicks to win the Eastern Conference and the Warriors to win the Western Conference. We know that part of the bet's going to be dead tonight here in a couple of hours, but
Yeah.
I think it is a 2-horse race, and I think the Pistons and the Celtics are head and shoulders above everybody else. I think this Pistons team has really embraced the bad boy image of the Pistons' heyday, and I love that. I think it's Pistons and Celtics, and I think the Pistons move on. So I've got Pistons and Nuggets. T's got Knicks and Thunder, correct?
Yep.
Mac, you have Celtics
And San Antonio.
and Spurs. Those are 3 interesting finals there. Celtics, Spurs, Nuggets, Pistons, Thunder, Knicks. Sounds like a country band, Thunder Knicks. All right, give me your NBA champion, right side to left side. Go for it, Vegas Mac. You've got Celtics. You've got Spurs. Who wins the Lario?
Here's
Shocking.
Yeah, I know. Here's the deal. This was supposed to be the throwaway year. Tatum wasn't supposed to play. Nothing was supposed to happen. And the Celtics have become a really good basketball team. Joe Mazzulla is an amazing basketball coach. I love San Antonio and the step up. But listen, can you count to 19? Can you count to 19, folks? Because you're going to have to. Because that one more banner is going to make 19. So number 19 is coming to the Garden. That's right. I hate to say it, and I told you, the duck boats. Get them ready, folks, for number 19.
Dude, this is traumatizing if you're a fan of New England sports teams right now. And thankfully for you, Mac is not all New England sports teams. So at the rate he's going, when we make our NHL championship picks, our Stanley Cup champion pick next week, Mac has now cursed his own Red Sox. He's now cursed his own Celtics. I'm going to predict that Mac is going to predict that the Steelers win the Super Bowl this year.
No,
And he's going to pick the Carolina Hurricanes, and it's going to be a straight whitewash for the McKenzie teams.
I'm not the one who needs the drug test after that Lakers pick.
Do I? Or is LeBron still a kid?
No, whatever, dude.
Well, he's not getting any resistance from the equally as old and overrated Rockets.
Yeah, true.
Glad that's on prime time. I get it. Somebody's going to go Durant and LeBron. Yeah, I know. I get it. But what year is this?
This isn't
What year
the
did
Mike,
that matter?
This isn't the Mike Tunsil show.
Exactly. Exactly. Laramie Tunsil. Great guy. Go for it,
Yes.
T.
I got the Thunder winning again. I think they're just too much, especially if they get a team not named Detroit or Boston. I think they're going to be way too much.
Dude, the Seahawks, the Thunder, the Mariners winning the World Series. What a time for Seattle. Watch the view counter go down. Hey, the victory this year will be when they officially announce Seattle's coming back anyways. So, all right, so I got Nuggets and Pistons. I I'm gonna partially use this as a quote. We talked about the step up year, and most would say Detroit had that last year. I think Pistons and Nuggets would be a hell of a final. A hell of a final. Because the Pistons aren't going to put up with any shit, and neither does the Joker.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'm fully on this train here, guys, that the Nuggets are the most forgotten about team in the NBA this year, and I don't get it. Because they still have the best player in the world on their team. I think Nuggets, Pistons, I would love for it to go 7, but I think the Nuggets get their second world championship. Here's one for you, T. You're losing shy, man. He watches the show from an attic, and he's just lost faith in you because of your Knicks blindness.
I had to go. I had to commit. I'm committed to the
You
bid.
did. You committed.
I think any three of those matchups would be kind of intriguing in their own ways. I think either one would be good. I think that would be fun basketball to watch if either one of those happened.
Which means we're probably likely to get a Minnesota Atlanta final because it would be the one we'd all be like, what the actual F is going on here?
Or the Lakers will get to the final and they'll be the Cowboys fans will be insufferable.
Who wins NBA Coach of the Year, boys? I think this is an easy one. And it's an easy 1, 2, 3 for me. For me, it's JB Bickerstaff of the Pistons. Joe Mazzulla should be second. And I honestly believe, like legitimately, that it's a toss-up between Mitch Johnson and little baby Adelman. I think Mitch Johnson probably finishes third. Adelman finishes fourth. I don't see how you couldn't give it to JB Bickerstaff at this point, but I'm open for suggestions here. I know what Mac's probably going to say.
It should be Joe Mazzulla. I mean, there's no doubt. I mean, how can you? I mean, seriously, who had the Celtics even in the playoffs before the season started? Nobody. They were going to be a team that was going to be in the play-in game if they were lucky. Just saying. I even said that. I mean, I'll be honest. I even said
it's a true statement.
I didn't think they were going to be that good. I mean, you can't lose a guy like Tatum. They lost. I mean, they got basically their whole starting lineup for the most part was just about putting shambles at the beginning of the year. They traded, given away, injured. I mean, you can't expect to think that they were going to be a really good, not as good as they were. Let's be honest with that. Nobody expected that.
No, not at all. 16 wins over their projection of 40. I mean, I don't think you could go wrong saying it's Mazzulla either. Like, I think that's legit. Hey, T, I know this is always one of your favorites, NBA awards. Who you got for NBA Coach of the Year?
I'm going to go right down the street and go with Joel Quenneville. I mean, he's engineered a huge turnaround. The guy brings in a bunch of cast-offs from New York. He gets a bunch of kids in the draft and via trade, and this team is on the precipice of making a second or third place finish in the division. Love what he's done here.
Oh, talk about staying on brand 24/7 right there. Joel Quenneville. Remember when we got told we were dipshits because Joel Quenneville was the guy for Anaheim? Still haven't seen the thank you card in the mail, Ducks fans. You still pissed off at me because of Timo Solani? Get over it. We can get through this together. Let's go to the ice right now. As we sit, I am so excited. I know we bag on the setup, and we should, because the system is broken as far as the NHL playoffs go. That being said, I'll bitch about it until they fix it, which means I'm going to bitch about it until Gary Bettman's gone, because it doesn't sound like he's going to fix it anytime soon. I can't wait for Saturday, man, because the Stanley Cup playoffs deliver like nobody's freaking business, and I think this year with the mix that we have, I'm even more excited because we've got a Buffalo, we've got a really good Montreal. When we go over to the West, you can make your jokes about the Pacific Division, and a lot of them are warranted.
Mhm.
But like we could be looking at a situation where Edmonton and Colorado, it's still a possibility they could play in the first round. We've got Anaheim in there. Anaheim Edmonton would be fun. Like there's so many possibilities, man. Like I don't know about you two, and I'll go middle over, but I'm more excited. And you would think right now I'd be in this hockey doldrum, you know, upset, sad state because the Sharks are officially out of the playoffs. But dude, I can't freaking wait. With the makeup of these playoffs this year, how damn good the Central Division was, I am chomping at the bit for Saturday. What do you think, T?
Oh, it's going to be must watch in this house for sure. Like every single game because of how great this first round is shaping up to be. I'm watching this overtime in the Buffalo Dallas game, by the way, and they're in the skills competition right now, and it is just that barn is delirious. And I don't know if you saw today, but the Buffalo Sabres Twitter account dedicated the entire afternoon to receipts.
Mm-hmm.
And it was one of the most magical things I've seen. And just seeing that gets me like, I can't wait to watch that first Buffalo game.
You know, it's funny because like the better part of the last two shows, Mac, we've kind of talked about big events. Would you go do this? Would you go do that? Like I would give parts of my body to be at the Anchor Bar pre-gaming before the Sabres' first home playoff game, which based on a Tate McRae concert and the Wiggles live, we don't know how far out that's going to get pushed. First time you've been in the playoffs in well over a decade, and Tate McRae and the Wiggles are screwing with you. But one place I would love to be, Anchor Bar, right into whatever the hell we're calling that arena now in Buffalo, and going into that barn for the odd. There you go. Going into that in game one, I think is going to be freaking ridiculous. Like I know now that you officially have a team, Vegas Mac, after your fan free agency decision that took us 2 years to make. How excited are you for this weekend and the start of the playoffs?
Oh, absolutely. And I was always excited. I mean, you kind of, even if, you're not if your team's not in it, you kind of find a team that you want to kind of root for. And so, we always have done that. So that's kind of fun. And, for me, it was always the Bruins. I mean, I kind of always would lean towards the Bruins, if not. So it's always was kind of fun for them. But yeah, to actually have a team that's in there that has a legitimate chance to make some noise in the playoffs, I'm very excited.
Holy shit. Did you guys see what Florida put on Detroit tonight? I just saw the score.
Yeah, Detroit long since checked out.
Yeah, they pecked me.
8-1. Ridiculous stuff. All right. I said it in a very poor way a couple weeks ago. It was the penultimate. Now I know for sure because the playoffs do start this weekend. And I have no idea where the final hole of the year takes us here. But Vegas Max, final 5-hole of the NHL regular season.
The final 5-hole, it's the tribute hole. We have to pay tribute to the teams that played great this year. Let's start at number 5. I'm going to go with Minnesota. 102 points. A lot of people think Minnesota's the team that's going to take this whole enchilada. At number 4, the aforementioned Buffalo Sabres, kind of out of nowhere. This team kind of came. But what's going to happen come playoff time? We know it's been a long time. How are they going to react to playoff hockey? At number 3, the Dallas Stars. And, what can we say that we haven't already said about the Dallas Stars and the playoffs? So let's just move on to our number 2 team. I think one of the most consistent teams this year. I still think they're underrated. Yeah, I know it sounds like a homer, but I love the Carolina Hurricanes. Everyone says their style of play doesn't get to the playoffs. I think you're wrong. And the number 1 team, of course, Colorado. They won the division. I think after the first month, they were already in. So there you go. That's our tribute hole.
Tribute hole. And you left one of the best teenagers in the history of hockey off of your tribute hole. I can't even take you seriously right now.
Got to be in to be considered.
Ooh, okay. I feel like that's unnecessary at this point in the show.
Hey, there's a lot of unnecessary going on here. So.
It is a Wednesday. See, before we get into, we're going to have some general chatter here just for a couple minutes on some awards and stuff, but I would be apropos if I didn't get to the final wrister of the regular season. The wrister's not going anywhere. And the guys don't even know this. I do have a new betting contest that we are going to unveil for the first time next Tuesday night to go through the marathon that is the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs. Hat tricks are fun. We're going to play hat tricks every damn night. But let's get to the final wrister of the regular season, Mr. Wrister himself, Tony James.
Well, I don't have any votes on all of these awards in the for the regular season, but I've got some picks, and I think they're really good ones. First, for the Hart Trophy, I think it's McKinnon's to lose. I've got McKinnon, Kucherov, McDavid is my top three, and your boy Max Celebrini, a very deserving fourth place finish. If that team would have gotten to the playoffs, I think he finishes at least second, but it's Matt K's to lose at this point. The Vezina, I got Andre Vasilevsky of Tampa Bay, Logan Thompson of the Washington Capitals, even though his team did not make the playoffs, and Scott Wedgwood, who leads the league in goals against in Colorado. I know he's a 1A, 1B situation with Blackwood, but I love what he's done. And just remember, he was a two-time waiver wire claim by the Arizona Coyotes. The Norris Trophy, I would give it to Zach Werenski. I thought he had a fantastic season, but I think it's going to go to Evan Bouchard, Cale Makar finishing third, Lane Hudson fourth, Quinn Hughes fifth, and my Jack Adams has to go to Lindy Ruff of the Buffalo Sabres. I've got John Cooper finishing second. Coop does not get enough credit because his teams are always loaded with talent, but this guy does an amazing job year in and year out. I think this year was one of his best, but they're going to finish second to the Sabres. Bednar, Gulletson, and Hines in the top five there.
Bednar should get higher up on the list just for going into the postseason injured.
Mm-hmm. And you notice I didn't even have Quenneville on my list, which was crazy to think. I mean, he's done an amazing job too, but that Central Division is so stacked. Like any of those guys would, if any of those five won the award, nobody would bat an eye. And if Quenneville won the award, nobody would bat an eye either.
Yeah, no, I do agree with you though. Like Lindy Ruff, I mean, for that team, just ask Ryan Whitney. He's on a billboard, speaking of receipts, in Buffalo right now. But for that team to do what they've done, like, I mean, hell, and I don't think this is going to happen, but Buffalo could get freaking blanked and swept in the first round. And I know fans in Buffalo have high expectations because that's just kind of what happens in Buffalo, but they're already at the point where they've won. Mm-hmm. To me, like they've already won. So I think Lindy Ruff should be a no-brainer there. Here's an interesting one for the panel from our guy Shy. Mac, what do you think? If the Sabres win it or go very far in the playoffs, paraphrasing, will Buffalo become a hockey town?
I mean, I think they kind of are. I mean, already. I mean, but you know, Buffalo's that. You know, they love their teams. I mean, they really truly do. I mean, look what we know. You know, the Bills Mafia. That's all we have to say, and it goes without saying that part of it's I know it's part of New York, but it's very intense. I mean, they really just grab onto their teams and. You know, that's a long time to not have a playoff game. Uh-huh. You know, that's a long time. I mean, and for them to come out and finally kind of get behind this team this year the way that they have, I mean, I think it shows. I mean, that doesn't happen in every place. There's a lot of teams that make a run and still, even if the teams make the playoffs, don't get the support that these teams have. So I think anything that a team does up in Buffalo is going to have support.
It's a hockey town. It's definitely a hockey town. They're all in, and just seeing the way that they're filling the arena, and like that Tampa Bay game a couple weeks ago, that 8-7 or 8-6 game or whatever it was absolutely bedlam, and you're going to get more of that, just a ton of it.
Yeah. T, have you ever been to the Anchor Bar?
I have been to the Anchor Bar. I was there in 2013 I didn't go to the Sabres Avalanche game, but it was before a Sabres Avalanche game.
Mac, your time up in the Northeast, have you been to the Anchor Bar?
No. I've only been to upstate New York a couple of times. My wife's from that area, so that's when I've gone. It's been family stuff, but haven't made my way to Buffalo.
Belo, we will be in you at some point at the Anchor Bar for a Mike Arana show roadie. I can promise you that. T, were the wings as good as advertised?
Dude, oh my God, that place was incredible. Yes,
And
yes, twice.
you did not ask for ranch, I hope.
Oh God, no! Who does that? Any self-respecting wing person doesn't order ranch.
Basically, everybody that lives in the state of Arizona asks for ranch with their wings, but that's a different story for a different day. All right, we got some crossing streams to get to. We've got Max got something he's got to get off his head, out off his chest, out of his head, off his head, out of his chest. I don't know. You never know with Vegas Mac. That's the beauty. Last week we had the Masters, as we talked about, average finishing position. TJ's group of, what were we last week? We were Happy Gilmore 2 appearance
Happy
golfers,
Gilmore
correct?
2 appearances. Yep, we had Xander Schauffele, we had Colin Morikawa, and we had
JT.
Yes, thanks.
So TJ's average finishing position of his 3 picks for the Masters, as you know by now, TJ is in with us for signature events. That's why we call him signature event TJ. He was 57. Mac had Scotty Scheffler, who was second. He also had Patrick Reed, asshole, who, not you, him, who was T12. And he had Bryson DeChambeau, who had an epic meltdown to miss the cut. So keep that in mind. Mac was assessed 50 as the finishing position for Bryson DeChambeau, and he still beat me, finished second to T with an average finish score of 64. Mine with, and you know what? I'm going to be honest. I talked about this for weeks. Goddard, Fitzpatrick, Fleetwood. I had the perfect Masters trio, and I got a T18, a T24, and a T33. I had 3 guys in the top 33. I didn't have a guy miss the cut. I didn't have quite what T had, but like, I'm proud of my, to quote Mac from a couple weeks ago for the Yukon players that didn't give a shit what he said, but he was like, I'm really proud of the group. I'm proud of my group. So now we have the RBC Heritage in Harbor Town, and it is a signature event. So TJ, I will let you start, Mr. Signature Event. Give me your long shot, your top 10, and your winner at Harbor Town, and what theme are we using this week?
Well, I was struggling to come up with a theme this week, and so struggling. But last week we talked about what we would choose for the Champions Dinner, and I was kind of all over the map here. And so my theme this week is 3 players with whom I've never eaten a Champions Dinner with. And so I've got Sepp Straka, Cameron Young, and I'm going back to the well with Xander Schauffele.
All right. Xander, Cam, and Straka.
You could
Vegas Mac, all knower of golf. What were you saying? Sorry.
I was going to say you could almost call it the SXY line because we got Sepp, Xander, and Young.
The sexy line. I see what you did there. Vegas Mac, knower of all things golf that I cannot compete with. clearly on any level of a golf competition. What do you have if the people missed Mike versus Mac, which was on our social channels today at Mike Arana Show, everywhere but Snapchat, because we're not 12 and Snapchat sucks. Give me your, did you actually this week pick a true long shot and not put the favorite in your long shot spot?
I just, follow the rules of the game. That's all I can tell you.
No, you didn't. Scotty Scheffler was your long shot at 5-1 last week. You a-hole. We should have brought TJ in for a ruling on that.
No, you weren't saying that after round one. That's all I'm going to say about that. I did this week. I'm starting with one of my favorite lefties, Brian Harmon. I would call him a long shot. He's definitely that. My top 10 guy is Daniel Berger. And just like you always say, to kind of get him out of the way, because I don't really want to play him for any of the big events, Patrick Cantlay.
Oh, now you're using my theories, because those have been so great in this contest.
More like Patrick can't play.
Well, this will be good. It's not a major. He should do well in this week.
Yeah, you know what? I say this, and last week you had a great long shot, true long shot, wild card, long shot, whatever you want to call it, pick in Tyrrell Hatton, who played really, really well. So I'm going to invoke that this week. And Mac, you and I have had this conversation a couple of times, and I'm like, we need to do a study on why Target Field is yielding so many runs in baseball this year. We also need to do a study as to why Jonathan Vegas only shows up at events you forget he's playing in and plays really well. So he is going to be my super wild card this week, because he'll probably be in the top 10, and that's when all of us on mid-Saturday go, oh shit, I forgot he still plays golf. That's what he does. These are the perfect tournaments for him. But I'm going to go with Jordan Spieth as my long shot. Russell Henley, who played a very good Sunday, especially at the Masters, is my top 10. And for another goofy-ass jacket that he will never wear out in public, he's just going to get home, say hi, Mayor, say hi to Bennett, can't remember the new baby's name. He's going to walk down the hall, open that room where all his shit is, all the golf trophies, open the door and just flick this hideous jacket in there. Scotty Scheffler wins at Harbor Town. Because I think last week might have been the awakening for Scotty. We've talked about it all year. He's been awful in the first round of every tournament he's played. And then legitimately, and I'm surprised I didn't get the text from you this weekend, Mac. I was playing golf. Normally the auto text from you is, don't forget your wedge.
The wedge.
We were talking, one of our behind the scenes people and I were out playing golf, and we said we'd put $25 on Scheffler to win if he was within 10 shots of the lead at the end of Saturday. As we know, at the end of Friday, he was 11 back. Saturday, he was 11 back. We didn't make the bet. He was plus 2,500 at that point. We were going to put $25 on it. And he almost gave us at least a playoff out of that. I think this might be where we know what the ultimate goal is this summer. The Scotty Slam on his 30th birthday out in the Hamptons in New York. That's the expectation. I can't wait to see what his odds are for that, because remember we talked about this last year, Mac, when he was on his run last year? You could have got him at 9-1 last year to complete the Scotty Slam. I guarantee you he's plus 150 when he goes to that.
I'm just surprised that when you look at the way our segment is broken down.
Oh, God. You're going to try and coach me into...
No, I'm just saying, we have two majors in this segment, and you're using Scotty when, you know he's going to get you points. It's a no cut. So it's fine. We know the success you've had, so I'm just going to say go with it, but
Okay, you can F right off for that. Straight-faced deadpan. And second of all, who the hell made this schedule up that there's two majors in one segment? Oh,
you did.
Son of a bitch.
I'm looking at it right here. I was like, we got the Heritage. Then
We were gonna
the
fix it and we never did.
Zurich, Byron Nelson.
Screw
the
that tournament. We're
Truist.
not doing it next week.
Okay, the PGA, then Charles Schwab, the Memorial, the Canadian Open, and the U.S. Open.
It is what it is.
It is
Hey,
what it is.
TJ can understand what I'm gonna say right here. Sometimes you need to bet $1 on the minus 10,000 to win a penny. Sometimes you just need to see one go through the hoop. Maybe that's what I'm doing here.
Yeah,
And think
no,
about
it's
it.
all
If I
good.
get a win this week and I sweep the
Yeah.
top of the board, I'm right back in this thing. And
You
I
are.
still got 2 majors. And if you don't think I have the perfect combos for those 2 majors,
I don't.
I will guarantee you I finished third in both of those behind you and TJ. All right, let's move on. Crossing streams.
Ugh.
You know, I don't want to do this, T, but I kind of got to right now. I'm 1-1 in crossing streams. I'm going to tell you that Mac is about to be 1-2 in crossing streams because he went one way and got his first win. Last week he went away and got his first loss, and the guy he's going to pick this week, he's going to have his first loss, or second loss. You're 0-2, TJ. 0-2 in crossing streams. What are we doing here, bro?
I'm just picking the wrong guys at the wrong time right now. So, but I've got a good one for Thursday to cap off the NHL season.
So those of you watching for the first time, crossing streams, we let TJ go to his wheelhouse, which is the NHL. We let Matt go to his wheelhouse at this time of year, which is Major League Baseball. And I am stuck with play-in basketball this week, but we all draw the short straw sometimes. So I'm going to start with T because he's got the mountain to climb to get back in the race here. What do you got to get yourself your first dub in crossing streams?
Well, he's back for the Anaheim Ducks, and the Anaheim Ducks have to win this game to avoid a matchup with the Colorado Avalanche. They are playing in Smashville on Thursday night, taking Cutter Gauthier, an anytime goal scorer. He's at 40 this year. He's going to get at least one more.
I like that pick actually a lot. Final day of the NHL regular season tomorrow. Tomorrow on Lunchtime Live, we will get into the NHL playoff bracket. Vegas Mac started with Cole Reagans over strikeouts, went to Gunnar Henderson for a homer, so he is 1-1. Reagans victory, Henderson a no. What are you going with this week, Vegas Mac?
I'm crossing my streams again. I'm calling in the bullpen early on this one.
Jesus.
I liked my pick. I thought it was good, but I'm going to change it. I'm going to my MVP pick tomorrow for a home run, Ellie De La Cruz.
Ellie De La Cruz to homer off of Landon Roop of the Giants. Mac's original pick was Rafael Devers. Maybe Mac saw Rafael Devers for a home run and saw him break his bat over his knee on his 21st strikeout already this season with his 209 average and sent EDC is my guy. I like that pick a lot better. Now I feel very comfortable about us getting our first crossing streams victory. Because I don't know the exact answer yet, and there are no NBA games tomorrow, I've got to get creative here. So crossing streams is actually going to cross days for the first time. But I'm going to go with the Phoenix Suns against whoever the hell wins the Warrior Clipper game tonight. They're at home. And I do agree with what Max said last night. They're the team that I think has the best team total all the way around. And in the other one, I don't give a shit who they're playing. I'm taking the Charlotte Hornets to beat the loser of this game, which right now, with 4 minutes left in the fourth, would be Orlando. So I'm taking Charlotte and Phoenix on the money line. So we're crossing streams, we're crossing days, and we're adding a fourth leg. Because what could possibly go wrong here? I like it. Ellie De La Cruz, Gauthier, Phoenix Suns, and Charlotte Hornets. Man, we are reaching to the bottom of the barrel. Mac, what's on your mind this week? It's time for some flips and shanks.
You know, with the NBA playoffs and the Stanley Cup playoffs in full swing, My question is this: are playoffs the worst way to decide a champion? Let's think about it for a second. Teams grind for months to prove that they're the best, and then everything comes down to a short series where one bad game, one injury, one hot streak can end your season. Is that even fair? If the goal is to crown the best team, shouldn't the regular season matter more? Or do we just want chaos and upsets and underdog stories, even if it means the best team doesn't win? So, should we keep the playoff systems exactly as is? Or is it time to rethink how champions are decided?
Well, Mac, you make a great point. I mean, look what the Premier League does. You play your games, and at the end, the fixture is, or the table is what the table is, and whoever's at the top is at the top, and they get the trophy. So, I mean, you make a great point. It definitely makes the regular season matter that much more when you don't have a tournament at the end.
Right. I mean, and just let's look at like the NHL for it as the example. I mean, you're going to start this tournament, and there's a possibility that one of the best teams is going to be eliminated in the first round. You've played an 82 game schedule. Like I said, you've gone through all the peaks and valleys and everything that you could for a regular season, and it's going to come down. I mean, you get a guy injured, you lose the series, all of a sudden, boom, your season's over, and it kind of feels like a waste of 80 plus games.
But at the same time, everybody's in that boat too. So everybody's got to play by the same rules. So if the best team loses a player, I mean, it totally sucks. But then if it wasn't for a tournament like that, we wouldn't have the iconic image of Dikembe Mutombo holding the basketball in Seattle after they beat the Sonics to upset an 8 over a 1 seed. We would never have that.
But like I said, are we getting truly the best team?
It's a good question. It really is. I see the question, Shy. I am absolutely keeping us off of that lane pathway there. Any final words from you tonight outside of your flips and shanks there, Mac?
Yeah, I some parting words for some parting golfers who are they playing their last tournament this weekend? Is LIVDEAD?
I don't know. I mean, Stephanie Vicaire, that whole thing with Liv Morgan and Stephanie Vicaire is going to be pretty incredible at wrestling. Oh, you're talking about Liv Golf.
The Liv, yes.
They are actually funded throughout the rest of the season, was the late report today, right about as we were starting the show. I did see that. I don't have any context to it, but yeah, check your bank account. Bryce Koepka doesn't. Brooks Koepka doesn't have to do that. Talk about Bryce on my mind all the time. Yeah, I don't think any of us are shocked. I don't think it's surprising. I mean, hell, we could have got T on the Live Tour and really just kind of cashed out and all been on an island together. I mean, I think we missed the boat there.
Yeah, I mean, if they play this season, the rest of the season, which I guess they probably will. I just can't imagine them teeing it up for next year. I think this is it.
Yeah, they're going to have their Live Tour Championship final event ever with a DJ at your local Muni dump around the corner from your house here. T, any final words tonight?
Don't be sad that it's over. Be happy that it happened.
Are you speaking to the Orlando Magic?
Live is dead. Long live, live.
102.95, 2:11 left in the fourth quarter from Philadelphia. Warriors and Clippers, I believe, are probably underway because God forbid in 2026 we could ever figure out how to stagger starts to games on national TV. That game actually hasn't started yet, which is surprising. But this one, to make Tony happy, was supposed to start at 4:30 and started at 4:40, and we know how that goes. Plenty of stuff here. Final one here. I'll let this one get through because this is a fun way to finish. Who's robbed their league of more money, Kirk Cousins or the WNBA via the NBA?
Oh.
Kirk Cousins, I think, has been good. The WNBA thing is interesting, and maybe this is something we get to next Wednesday because now that they have a new CBA and we're seeing some of these 3-year, $5 million contracts, like, stop poo-pooing those if you're one of those people that just likes to talk shit. I mean, yeah, you can't make $5 million to be a bench writer for one of these play-in teams in the NBA, but you can in the WNBA, and that's a progressive step. I think everybody would love to have seen the number higher than that, but Kirk Cousins is just fine, man. You look at him, he's made more money than Tom freaking Brady.
Well, and Kirk Cousins bet on himself so many times, and he's come through so many times. I have nothing but love for Kirk Cousins.
Has he been with that same agent his whole time?
I think so.
Phew. Wow. Wow. All right, tomorrow on the program, lunchtime live, 11:30 on the West Coast, 2:30 on the East Coast. We will get into the nuts and bolts of the Stanley Cup bracket. We're going to play a little bit more rapid fire. And then, of course, lunchtime live on Friday to bring it home. What a weekend we got in store. What a weekend. What a time. What a time to be alive on a Wednesday night in Philadelphia. Because the Sixers are going to win a playoff game. Ironically, in Allen Iverson's same jersey. I think that's kind of appropriate. For T, for Mac, for everybody behind the scenes, I'm Mike. You know the drill. We'll talk with you for lunch tomorrow at 11:30. We're out.